Good morning. Um, we are hooping. We're hooping. Shout out to Mark Nolan, by the way, on my drip. They shared this with me. They sent this over to me as a gift, and I'm really grateful. I like it. It fits well. This is the extra large. You feel me? So you might have to go a size up. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy I didn't get the large one, but they sent this one over to me, so I'm really, really grateful. Shout out to Mark Nolan official. Um, I want to talk about what I plan to say at my event. I feel like the best way for me to understand things for myself is for me to try to teach it. And I've been sitting back and I've been like, man, like, let me think about what my event is going to be. And my event basically is going to be us at the rooftop of this venue and a bunch of people who are a part of the community have bought tickets, and they'll be pulling up, and there will also be some family there and some friends there and some longtime supporters there. And we're basically going to all be in a room, and we're going to lounge around, we're going to drink, we're going to eat, we're going to chill, we're going to kick it. It's going to be music blasting, everything is going to be everything. But there will be little segments of me jumping on the mic with some of my friends and challenging them in front of the crowd to a 60-second rant. And I'll also be providing that rant to everybody in the space to be able to go ahead and play and enjoy it for themselves as a guided conversation. I'm a big person on, I'm a big advocate for guided conversations, you feel me? Like, let's have a prompt and then let's go from there, and then let's see where our intellect and our creativity can take us. So that's the aim of the event, right? For anybody that's not clear on that. What we're trying to do is provide you all a lounge experience, and that lounge experience will also be curated by things that I would enjoy if I were to go out for a night out in Chicago myself. Guided conversation, good food, good drinks, sexy, subtle, calming, good music, you know what I'm saying? Our DJs are amazing. My guy, Ferragamo, actually provided the DJs, some very close friends to him, and I hear that they're the best in Chicago, so I can't wait to hear what it is that they got, the set list that they got, but it's gonna be an absolute vibe. And I've been sitting back and I've been trying to think of like what it is I plan to say to everybody, you know, at this space, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want everybody to understand that this is my first event where I'm the face of it, right? And not only am I the face of it, the name of the event is my brand, Live from the Hookah. You know what I'm saying? That was an idea of mine. And I collaborated with a handful of people to bring it to life and make it an actual localized boots on the ground thing. Because my whole brand, my whole bag, a lot of my success has been digitally, you know what I'm saying? And now I get to take this digital success and put it in real life. It's a huge, huge step for me. And I'm sitting back and I'm thinking like, man, when I do open up the night and I give my grace to everybody and I show love to everybody and I take that idea that's been top of heart, top of mind for me and express it to everybody, what will that story be? And I've been sitting back and I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think that this is kind of what I want to say. I want to give thanks to everybody, and I want to let everybody know what it was that I went through to get there. Not necessarily my upbringing and not necessarily the story of me, but the story of the Hookah and how we got there and what skills I hope we are building when we share the space on the 31st of January, right? So if you see this before the event, go get you a ticket. Please be there. Get sexy, get fly, be subtle, be ready for a dope experience because it's going to be definitely a lot of fun. And if you're seeing this after, you feel me, I'll definitely make sure to post a recap video and let everybody know how it is that it went. But get your ticket, you know what I'm saying? Get you a ticket. It's gonna be a vibe. Now, how we got there. And this is also where I'm stumped, because it's like, what's the true start of the story, right? Like, what is the start of the story that I'm trying to tell? I think the start of the story is 2022, when I'm going through my final year of college and I'm nervous about what I'm going to get into after graduation. And I got all of the weight on my shoulders of just being the college student athlete. And I'm working in the nightlife. I was working over there in West Loop at the Mine, Chicago. And I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, you know, for the time of my life. And what happens? My mom passes. And when my mom passed, it's so funny because this was a conversation me and my big brother had one day, is that like we didn't have time to grieve right away. Like we didn't have time to be like, mommy is gone, let's feel this pain. You know what I'm saying? We had to meet up as a family and discuss path forward, discuss what it was we was going to do from a financial standpoint, from a living standpoint. There was a lot of stuff that happened just at a snap of the fingers. And I think that I give a lot of recognition and love and admiration to my siblings, because I think that in that time, it was a lot harder on them than it was for me, right? I think that the things that they were going through in their personal battles during that time were a lot more difficult than mine, because at the end of the day, I was still in a dorm. I was still I had a meal plan where my meals were provided for me, you know what I'm saying? And when I went to my big brother and was like, look, I'm about to leave school, I'm about to drop out of school to be able to help, my big brother told me no. And now I was basically in this position where I can't drop out of school. It's probably in my best interest to not do that, but there's real life things going on that need to be figured out. And I just want to say thank you to my brothers, you know what I'm saying, for being who they were. Thank you for all of the family that were able to step up in the way that they did. But for me in that time, what happened was that I was like, what is next for me? Because what I can't do is get out of this school year, get out of this football stuff, and then the only thing that I've known and the only thing that I've learned and the only skill that I have is football. You know what I'm saying? Like when I graduate, I need to be able to go get into something. And my mother passed December 3rd of 2022, and I graduated in May of 2023. And when my mother passed, I had the idea of making videos, of me working out and doing fitness and stuff like that. And anybody who knows what that was looking like, you feel me? It was a lot of just me just making these little tutorial videos, a thirst trap here and there, you feel me? Because, body was tea. And it was very much so just like me putting myself out there on the internet for the first time and being brave enough to do that. And then I started, after I did a couple different tutorials, I would do like a upper body day. I would do like I remember one time I did a wheelchair workout, just had this random idea to do a wheelchair workout. And then I ended up doing a full body workout for the girlies, right? I was like, yeah, this is like a workout that I know a lot of women want to do, the flat stomach, big booty type thing. Like that's the trend in the women's fitness community. So I'm gonna do a video of me doing a workout that feels that desire. And I did it. And this was probably like my 10th video I've ever made, and it went viral. It had 1 million views. And I want people to understand what quick success does to your mind, right? Like when you have immediate success in something, it kind of boosts your confidence. It pumps your head up in a way where it's like, yo, like I'm meant for this. Like this is what I do. Like this is my craft. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what it did for me. And it did that for me, but I was also humble enough to understand like what content creation was going to be for me. I knew that I would have to be consistent. I knew I had to be original. And for me personally, business acumen wise, that is where I lack. Like I lack from a business acumen standpoint. And I'm saying I lack because I compare myself to the people around me. Like I have people around me who do real business. My big brother does business. My little brother does business. My mentor, Max, does business. My right-hand man, Squill, does business, right? Like Boye does business, and I work with him a lot. Like it's a lot of business that happens around me, and I try to remain out of those conversations because I'm not as good at business as they are. You know what I'm saying? I'm just more so a conduit of good ideas, and I recognize that my strength is ideas, putting them out into the world, making them a thing, but business I'm not the best at. So in that time, I made it to myself. I made a vow to myself. I was like, look, I'm not even going to think about making money until I have 100,000 followers. And this was when I had 10,000 followers. I was able to get 10,000 followers in like the first 20 days of me creating content. And I made up in my heart, I was like, yo, I'm not thinking about $1 until I get 100,000 followers. And it took me all the way to, I want to say like mid-December of 2023 to be able to get 1 million followers. And this is me pushing the needle all of 2023. I'm making 3-4 videos every single day. I'm in the gym twice because I need to get an actual workout, then I need to get a content workout. And then I started talking and things like that. And that was such an interesting turning point for my brand because when I started talking into the mic, I'm realizing like, yo, these are genres. Like, oh, let me not say genres. Like, I'm being inspired by different genres, right? Like, I'm being inspired by psychology. I'm being inspired by culture. I'm being inspired by anybody who knows me. They know that like I'm a huge fan of Jordan Peterson, who's a clinical psychologist. He studied at Harvard. I mean, he didn't study at Harvard. He's from Canada somewhere, but he taught at Harvard. He was a professor at Harvard, and his lectures are just so different and original because he's taking his ideas and he's expressing an idea and teaching his people how to think. He's not necessarily telling them like, hey, take this test based on what I'm saying, you know, get verbatim notes on what I'm saying. He's more so taking an idea and expressing it into the world and making the curriculum his own. And all of those things inspire me, but those are all things that are beautiful, but my culture and my people and my brothers and my sisters and my friends aren't necessarily privy to those things, you know what I'm saying? And my idea was, okay, cool, well, let me be inspired by these different genres and make it hip-hop, right? And when I say make it hip-hop, I'm saying it make it me, you feel me? Let me go take this thing that I learned from Jordan Peterson and I'm gonna filter it through my heart, and then I'm gonna express it, and I'm gonna see if people who understand me, look like me, sound like me, can resonate with what it is that I'm saying. And that's when I just started talking about things and just started talking about my ideas and things that I felt and my emotions and my relationship stuff and all of these things. And it took a lot of bravery to be able to do that for as long as I did it without getting $1 from it, you know what I'm saying? But I had a goal in mind. I said, you know, at 2024, when that year starts, I'll make some money from it. So when I had 100,000 followers, I ended up being like, okay, cool, let me dive into this money thing. And I realized that when you reach 10,000 followers on TikTok, you're now eligible to get money from your creative stuff, right? I hit 10,000 followers in February of 2023, and I ran up 100,000 followers, multiple million view videos, and all of the things, and I just didn't sign up to get paid for it. So imagine you doing 9 months worth of your best work that qualifies for thousands of dollars, but you just didn't sign up for it. So when I did look into the business thing, I was like, yeah, that's how I know you don't need to be doing business for it, because you completely missed out on the bag. But anyways, from this day forward, what can we do to make sure that we maximize this thing? And I can genuinely say that in 2024, I lived the best year of my life. When I say best year of my life, I'm talking, I moved into my first apartment in Brownsville, and I was working corporate for the company that recruited me out of college, and I didn't even think I would be able to get a job, right? And at this point, I was offered a full-time job after completing an internship for this company, and I was weeds in the work. And I was healthy as hell, and I had this brand of people where I can start up a live stream on TikTok and it'll be 350 people just listening to me sing. And I went on a date one day to this restaurant called Bracero. It was a brand new restaurant. I think it was in like Lincoln Square. I was going on this date, and when I walked in, the host was like, "Hi, are you Maciano?" And I said, "Yeah." And mind you, I got a beautiful woman with me, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Are you Maciano?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh man, like, you know, we've been waiting for you. Like, come on, have a seat." He sits us by the window where we got like a street view. We watching the cars fly past, and we watching the snowfall. And he brought us out appetizers without us even ordering. And said, "These are on the house." And he brought out like 6 different appetizers. And I'm watching this young lady just try all of this food, but you know, I'm not sure if she's used to this or if she's used to these type of experiences or if this is just what being a woman is like. But for me, I was so grateful. I couldn't even really like enjoy the food for real. Like, I couldn't pay attention to the food. I'm paying attention to the fact that there's places in this city that I've never been, and they're aware of me. You know what I'm saying? They know who I am. They know my name. And they know my name to the point where they don't want to kill me, and they don't want to pick at me, and they don't want to push back on anything. They want to give me appetizers. And they want to, you know, make me look good in front of my date. You know what I'm saying? And we ate so much and we had so much to drink. And I just remember us at the end of the night both being like, yo, this restaurant is amazing. And you know, my family and I, we're real basketball fanatics, you know what I'm saying? We're basketball heads. And you know, we used to back then like rent the gym out. We would put up like $150, everybody paid $10, and we would rent the gym out, and we would go and play basketball. And it would be all of my homies growing up with, all of the people who I just know that can hoop all in this room, and we would just go and we would just hoop and things like that. And you know, that was 2024 for me. It was the best year of my life. It was checking every box that I could ever want to be checked. And I feel like the only way, well, not the only reason, but one of the primary reasons as to why that was is because of the hookah. The hookah was something that I said was inspired by an interior design derived from Denmark, because it gets really harsh winters there and it gets dark really early. It's really cold, so they came up with this interior design that consists of ambient light and warm drinks and blankets all over the place and just a super comfortable, cozy setting. And I said, man, I like that, but rather than spelling it Hygge, I'm gonna spell it Hooga, the hookah. And I designed my crib like that the best way that I can. But mind you though, back to the original point, I'm inspired by different things, but everything has to be filtered through my heart. So now I got, you feel me, Ninja Turtles posters on the wall, you know what I'm saying? And I got, you feel me, candles all over the place. And I ended up going and get a wood, I got a bunch of wood, and me and my guy Patty went in his backyard and we created my coffee table. You know, we made my coffee table from scratch. And you know, it was just so much stuff. I had like a candy bowl on the counter, and I just would come in and eat candy all of the time. You know, I used to sit on the floor and eat, you know what I'm saying? I used to get hungry and just go buy potatoes, ground chicken, cheese and things, and I would like chop up the potatoes and make the ground chicken like taco meat. And you know, it was just a bunch of just me in one place and just me being creative and just living my life like I wanted to live it. And I kind of felt in a way like Shrek a little bit, man. Like this is my this is my swamp, you know what I'm saying? But the difference between me and Shrek was that I allowed everybody in, and I put up a camera, you know, and I recorded what me being in my swamp looked like. And it was 350 people on a daily in there interacting with my swamp. That's how the hookah started, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the birthplace of the hookah. I ended up giving all of that up, you know what I'm saying? And I ended up, you know, being just like any other young professional, right? Like ambitious and wanting more and wanting to explore more and discover more, that I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to Dallas for a little bit. You know, I'm gonna go to Dallas for these reasons. I had my reasons, very good reasons, very logical reasons. And when I got there, you know, I had this big old crazy apartment, bro. Like anybody who's seen my Dallas apartment, they knows it was like huge, and it had like hanging lights all over the place. And outside I had a first floor unit, and outside my, you know, unit was a patio, and it was overlooking the pool, and it was always warm weather. And it was just a lot of this superficial stuff that I felt like I deserved for what it was I was able to accomplish with little. And I was down there and I was lonelier than I've ever been in my life, you know what I'm saying? Like I was really not enjoying myself in Dallas, and I was not taking care of my body. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't taking care of my mental. And my apologies, I got cut off. I'm running out of storage on my iPad because I do a lot of vlogs, but I think I left off in saying that it just wasn't the best experience for me in Dallas. And a part of that, I kind of got in my head to the point and let some other outside forces get in my head a bit, and it made me stop creating, you know, and stop putting myself out there in the way that I was. And I just had this like creator's block type situation going on, where it was like, man, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know there's a lot of people who appreciate what I'm doing. I just can't do it, you know what I'm saying? I just can't do it for my reasons, and I'm sticking to it. And I spent my time, the time that I would usually allocate toward creating, I spent that time getting high all day and just drinking wine all day and spending 8-9 hours at the gym just shooting the basketball and playing basketball and going and lifting weights and aimlessly scrolling. It was just a bunch of bad use of time, you know what I'm saying? Especially for someone who is gifted, you know, especially someone who has a vision and things to accomplish. Long story short, later on in my Dallas, stint, I was making phone calls back home about me possibly coming back home, you know what I'm saying? And me moving back, and everybody was like, yo, like, and I'll say even before that, right, something else that influenced those conversations was, I remember, man, like, I'm not gonna say my little homie name, but I never forget, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a call that one of my little homies ended up getting shot with one of his homies because they was doing something that they wasn't supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Who's right about that situation? Who's wrong about that situation? I don't care. The only thing that I heard was that my little man's and his man's ended up getting shot, and it could have been fatal. And for me, we come from the block. We come from Heather. Anybody that know me and my family and mine, we grew up on the block, and we didn't grow up on the block on no gangbang and twisting our fingers stuff. Like, we grew up on this block as family, and we grew up on this block talking about things that interest us, and we would do ciphers, and we would shoot dice, and we would pull the rim out and play basketball, and we would go to Nona's and eat pizza on the hood of the car, sharks on the hood of the car, and we would talk about our ideas and marine biology and politics and culture, and it was just a whole bunch of positivity on this shared space that we had. And when I heard that we got people who came after us doing stuff that not even we did, but they from where we from, it rubbed me wrong. You know what I'm saying? It rubbed me wrong, and it hit me as if, like, man, maybe we not being the leaders that we need to be. And I'm not putting that responsibility on nobody around me. I'm putting that responsibility on myself. Me being in Dallas is the reason why that happened. And I'm getting more conversations coming my way, more calls. I'm on the phone with my grandmother, and my grandmother's kind of telling me about some stuff that's happening at home. And then I come and visit home, and when I come around, it's like I get this red carpet treatment. I get this love that I don't know if anybody else gets this type of love, where it's like, the same person who just went through this crazy experience is coming up to me and congratulating me on my success and loving on me and stuff like that. But it's like, no, we need to change this conversation to what can I do for you? You know what I'm saying? And what is it that you need, and what were you thinking? You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming around my grandmother, and my grandmother, I walk in the crib, and she knows I'm coming to visit. She hangs my freaking football poster from high school up on the fridge. And for me, it's like, Grandma, I'm thankful, but what do you, like, I know what's going on around here, you know what I'm saying? And I need to talk to you, you know what I'm saying? I need to understand why your heart, like, where your heart at and where your mind is at, what can I do? And then I would go back to Dallas, and then I'm alone, you feel me? But not only am I alone, it's things still happening at home, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when I started to just take this more of like I gotta be more of a gangster, you know what I'm saying, in my own definition, right? Like, I gotta be more of a gangster in the way that I know a gangster to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been inspired by gangsters my whole life, and I can name a list of them. And they have a lot of differences, but the similarities is that they're family oriented, and they care, and that they're present, and that they're available, you know what I'm saying? And they handle business, and they lead the right way, and they don't send anybody to go do anything that they wouldn't do. And in that's when I decided to come home. And when I decided to come home, I didn't plan it out, extensively. I just knew that the main thing was for me to come home. And I packed up half clean clothes, half dirty clothes. I took my pillows and I took my PlayStation, and I left everything else in Dallas, and I came home. And I came home, and when you do something like that, you feel me, I'm not coming back home, and I'm not gonna be living top of the world, top floor or something like that right away. I had to crawl back. So, like, through this whole time, and I'm gonna give a lot of thanks to people. One of those thanks I want to give is to my little sisters. They have a room, that's their space. You feel me? My little sister, and my two little sisters, they share a room. And one of my little sisters actually went and stayed elsewhere for me to have somewhere to sleep on my crawl back, and I shared a room with my other little sister, and we would be in there eating McDonald's at midnight and going and getting Ruffles and stuff and snacks and shit. She became a bill, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to be paying bills, but my little sister became a bill basically. But it was, you know, a part of me being able to stay in her space. And my brothers would support me, you know what I'm saying? I would be short on something, they would come through for me, you feel me? Like I remember when, like, you know, I was telling them what my plans was, you know, and all of the things, you feel me? My little brother was like, look, don't pay for no food, you feel me? Like, I'm gonna pay for every one of your meals because I know you stacking your bread to be able to get. And it's like, yo, that's not even, like, the least y'all can do is let me stay, but that's going above and beyond. You mean to tell me you're gonna feed me so I can use my money and stack it for me to get to where, like, it was stuff like that that got me to the spot. It was stuff like that that made me be like, take care of yourself. It was stuff like that that made me say, go get help. It was stuff like that that made me say, you know, put that camera on, you feel me, and talk your shit, you know what I'm saying? It was stuff like that that brought the Hooga back to life. You know, it was stuff like that that took us back to hitting the insights and the interactions and things that we're at right now, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, me walking through the city and maneuvering in the city and being back in the city and stuff like that, I run into my guy Boye. And, you know, it's so crazy how me and Boye, we ended up linking up and we started working together because it wasn't like I knew Boye or I was following Boye on the gram. I was walking down Michigan with a book bag on, hat on, you know, on my way to the gym. He was walking the opposite way, 6'4", clean with a all black suit on, you know what I'm saying, buttoned up. And as black men, you feel me, you show love, and he showed love to me and I showed love to him. And then maybe at like 11 o'clock at night, boy, it was something like that, late as hell, I'm walking back down Michigan and I remembered him going into the Hilton. I walked into the Hilton and I basically went up to him and I talked to him and I said, look, man, like, I seen you walking on the street, I seen you walking in here, and something that I'm hoping to do is see if hospitality is something that is available to me at this age, at this stage of my life, you feel me? Like, is this an opportunity worth chasing and worth, you know, involving myself in? And, you know, me and him, we talked a little bit. I gave him a little bit of high level about myself and back and forth. We ended up meeting for coffee a couple of days later, and it's so funny. I'm gonna put Boye business out here a little bit, but I remember when we planned to meet for coffee. And I was like, yeah, man, it's like 12 to 1 cool. I was like, it's like 12 o'clock cool. He was like, yeah, but we have to do 12 to 1 because I only got an hour. Like, I'm only available for an hour, so we got to be quick. And I'm like, oh, for sure, man. Like, that's cool, for sure. Boye pulled up. I was kicking it with Boye from 12 to like 6. Me and Boye was hanging out from 12 to 6 because the conversation was pure, you know what I'm saying? And we had shared interests and shared goals and shared vision. And we were able to come to an agreement where we both add value to each other. And over the last, month and a half, I've been running around with Boye. I've been producing his pod for him, the Cultural Cachet podcast. If you don't know already, you feel me, that's our work, you know what I'm saying? And that's him speaking his brilliance out to the world about the experiences that he's had in the nightlife. And he done talked about so many different things that just changed my perspective on it, because now I'm doing events and things and I'm pushing the needle in this way. And it's like, I'm going into these things knowing what it is that he taught me. You feel me? He has so much value in his pod. So if you don't know already, please go show the love to Boye. And for me right now, cheers, bro. Like, cheers, because I'm not here if it's not for Boye, right? Like, he's the one who put this together, you know what I'm saying? I'm just here on the mic talking and, you know, being myself, but without Boye, you know, I'm not at the wild hair. And in that, I also do shout out Con and Reggie for letting us use the space. Con and Reggie for letting us use the space. I'm not Reggie, I'm sorry, Con and Rich. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Con and Rich for letting us use the space, you know what I'm saying, and make use of the space for that night. And the community, you know what I'm saying, being able to understand that I was away and understand why I was away. And then seeing me getting back at it and then showing up for me, you feel me, on the second go at this, like on the spinning the block aspect of this thing, you feel me, y'all are here, y'all are supporting, and y'all in the room right now, you feel me, and this is the Hooga. Like, we at the Hooga, you feel me, in real life. This is the first time that this has ever been a live thing. This is the first time this has ever been a endeavor for me, you know what I'm saying, and just by the looks of the room, you feel me, it's successful. And I'm saying that, like, now as, like, I'm trying to prepare, but it's like I'm saying it, it's so crazy to me, like, yo, like, we had the Hugo on the 31st. Like, that was an idea. That was something inspired in Denmark. That was an interior design aesthetic established in Denmark, filtered through my heart and pushed out to everybody for them to be a part of it. And on the 31st of January, we're all going to be in that room sharing that space. It's bigger than me. It is so much bigger than me. I mean, I just couldn't be more grateful. And I just hope everybody enjoys it. You know what I'm saying? And through the night, I'll be bringing up some of my favorite people in the city, some of my favorite speakers and favorite creatives, and I'll be challenging them to a 60-second rant of a question that I curated myself. And it'll be a little small segment, you feel me? It'll be, you know, short and sweet, but it'll be fun, you feel me? It'll be interactive. And I'll get to have a conversation with some of my people live in front of you all. And in the in-between time, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna joke, we're gonna listen to music, drink and kick it. And at each table, the game that we're gonna be playing live in front of you all is available for you all to play with whoever it is you're hanging out with. You feel me? Those are guided questions. Pull a question out of there, ask somebody something, challenge them to start their landing point in 60 seconds or less. You know what I'm saying? 60 to 90 seconds, you feel me? Like, let them cook. And the two skills that we plan to build at Live from the Hooga is bravery, right? Open up, you know what I'm saying? Open up, talk that shit, be intellectual, you know what I'm saying? You're a lot smarter than you think. And I feel like you can truly prove to yourself how smart you are if you take an idea that's not fully formed and try to explain it and try to fully form it in real time. You know what I'm saying? This is a witty game that we got to play. You know, so be brave enough to take a stab at that. You feel me? 60 seconds, start to land your point. And also storytelling. You know what I'm saying? That's a skill that's used across any industry. If you can't tell a story, then your shot at success is minute. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to know how to tell a story and do it concisely. Being able to start and land something in a short amount of time. And I think that with the assistance of some liquid courage, you know what I'm saying, and the assistance of a little lemon pepper wing or something like that, and, you know, somebody who you feel like it's a vibe, you feel me, in the ambient lighting and the Hooga and some music in the background, I feel like it's going to be a lot easier than you all think, and it'll be a lot fun. It'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be very worthwhile. So I think that's the story that I'm going to tell. You know what I'm saying? And I'll close it out. I'll do a toast. Like, everybody, thank you all. Love you all. Enjoy. And more everything. Cheers. Yeah, I like that. So listen, Live from the Hooga, the 31st of January. You feel me? If you don't know, now you know. If you don't know, now you know. Live from the Hooga, 31st of January is going to be an absolute vibe. Some of my favorite creatives, favorite business people, favorite family members, favorite friends, and my entire community is going to be in the building at the Hooga. This was something that started as an idea. This is something that was inspired all the way in Denmark. And it was filtered through my heart and introduced to y'all. You know what I'm saying? And now we have it as a live experience this weekend. And then the game that we're going to play, the featured game for the night, it's nothing but a guided conversation with the assistance of Liquid Courage, some Party Next Door, who knows, some Giveon. It might be some Friday playing in the background. And you just chill and you relax and you just enjoy, you feel me? And this is a real lounge experience curated by yours truly. So if you haven't already, go get your ticket, be there. I couldn't be more excited. And we in the last week, we in the final push of the rollout. You know what I'm saying? I think that right now we at 150 attendees. You know, if we can get a couple more, cool. If we ended at 150, cool, we ended at 150. If you need a promo code for 100% off your ticket, DM me. I will give you that. I got you. If you want 100% off your ticket, DM me. I got a code for you, but I just need you to be there. I just need you to be there. Live from the Hooga, 31st of January. Maciano. Gang.